The Orks have been repelled, and their war boss has been defeated. But this war is far from over. The Orks still threaten to overcome several major population centers, and could mass more than a large enough force to overwhelm the Imperial armies present on the planet. We have bought time, nothing more. But this is no longer a primary concern. Our scouts have recovered evidence that the forces of chaos, the great enemy, may be operating on this planet, right under our very noses. We must face this foe wherever they stand. If there is even a chance that they are here, we must seek them out and destroy them. Inquisitor Toth is demanding that we leave the planet, but of all the powers his position grants him, commandeering a space marine company is not one of them. I must admit that I find his presence unwelcome so soon after the events on my homeworld of Cyrene. Inquisitors have a way of inflaming a guilty conscience, and that I do not need right now.
This warp storm could trap us here for a month or for a century. We cannot risk staying here. We must evacuate Tartarus before it arrives in 3 days' time.
The Imperial Guard and Holy Fleet can attend to the evacuation. The Blood Ravens have more pressing matters to contend with.
Such as?
I believe agents of chaos have taken strong root here.
I sense no taint here. Even so, were there a chaos presence on Tartarus, it is better we leave them here with the Orks than waste more lives fighting them. We could wish no worse fate for either of our enemies, and to be trapped with the other. But we must leave here now.
That is a matter for my brothers and I to decide. We will use these 3 days to settle our affairs and satisfy our suspicions. Meanwhile, you have our transports to facilitate evacuation.
Colonel Brom, the captain and I must attend to matters of faith. If you would leave us, please.
But surely this involves me as a...
Forgive me for not being clear on the matter. I said please, when in fact I meant now.
This does involve him. You should have shown him a modicum of respect.
Captain, you uncovered extensive heresy on your home world. Cyrene, was it?
That has nothing to do with the events here on Tartarus.
But I believe they do. You requested the Inquisition undertake an exterminatus, the destruction of your planet's entire populace, which we obliged.
I still fail to see...
Captain, I am not questioning your loyalty, but I must wonder if your actions on Cyrene have not affected your judgment. Perhaps that was a poor choice of words. I merely fear that you might see chaos, but it does not exist. I ask that as a loyal subject of the Emperor, you serve the Imperium's interest before your own agenda.
Captain, that Inquisitor had no right to speak to you in such manner. But perhaps he is right. The coming storm will trap our enemies here where they can consume one another.
And what if the forces of chaos escape the system before the storm? No. We will not use this freak occurrence as an excuse to avoid our enemies, or our responsibility. They are here for a reason, and we will discover that reason.
We are with you, brother Captain, as always.
The humans are coming your way in full force. You should hear their heavy feet long before you see them, and smell them long before that.
Orbital Command has indicated the dropship landed in this general proximity. We've discovered a path, Captain. It's obvious someone has been digging here.
Cut by orcs?
I've never seen an orc lend such a careful hand to a task.
If it wasn't orcs, then it must be the forces of chaos. We will follow this path and discover the truth behind what has transpired here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Cypher here. Let's play Dawn of War, Mission 5. We have to go hunt down some chaos.
Will now be available to us. Construct it, and we will have access to powerful abilities.
Now, unfortunately, for this mission, we can't get Assault Marines because I think there's some parts later on that would sort of break if we had access to jump packs. But the main enemy we have to fight in this mission is the Eldar, who are kind of like the elves of 40k. They're ancient and inscrutable and have sort of screwed up in the past. You know, similar to elves in most settings. Now, this guy is an Inquisitor, who are kind of like the independent agents of the Imperium who kind of sneak around and look for bad stuff happening. They have almost unlimited powers, and some of them can be up to bad stuff. But there aren't many people in the Imperium who can wander around and, you know, see when people are up to shenanigans on various worlds. Okay, so gonna build an armory, maybe there.
Yes, my lord.
Ever vigilant.
Get some listening posts. So the Eldar have kind of like a, I don't know if it'd be a racial slur because they're not a different race. They're like an entirely different alien species. But they have a slur for humans, which is monkey, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't put it in this game. My suspicion is that maybe it like wouldn't translate well or something. I don't know. You might not. If you're not familiar with Eldar, you wouldn't know what it meant. So they probably went with humans.
There is no such thing as innocence.
Today the enemy shall be fear.
Okay. Let's build some more pylons. Now we have 1,000,000 different commanders here, so we'll divvy everybody up between all these different tactical squads, and we'll start capturing points. Yeah, so Eldar are basically a dying race because so the Warhammer 40k universe is like built upon the backs of multiple races. So these orcs are broken. They're not attacking us, they're just standing there.
Wait. They weren't attacking.
You can think of the Imperium of Man as something almost like, if you look at like let's say something like Greece. Like there were the pre-Greek peoples, there were the Greeks. You know, then there was the Romans, then there was people like the Venetians, then there was like the Turks, and now, you know, there's the current Greece. So there's just different waves of people who've kind of ebbed and flowed over the area. In the 40k universe, there was originally these people called the Old Ones, and these other people who are the Satan, and they had a war, and they created various groups of people to fight for them, and then they went away, and then you had kind of the second stage. I guess I should go a little further and capture this, which are people like Eldar and Orks and some other older races.
Scouts ready.
And then you have the next set of races, which would be people like humans, And then you have even newer races, which are people like Tau, who are actually in one of the expansions to this game. Let's see. I think 3 reactors is probably enough. Maybe we'll build 1 more reactor. Because why not? Where's my servitor?
I am prepared.
There we go.
Yes, most beneficent one.
Marine squadron.
And so Eldar basically ruled the whole galaxy, but
Moving out. Fear
their legitimate
weapons at ready.
backstory is they were too powerful and they had nothing else to do but essentially like engage in carnal pleasures and art and drugs and drinking and, you know, the casual sex and everything else. And they had so much lewdness and orgies and shenanigans that they basically accidentally created a god of decadence. And that god ate all of their souls. And now there's like half of the Eldar kind of just give into it, you know, whatever feels good, man. Just roll with it. And half of them are very angry and are trying to plot ways to kill this essentially like god of pleasure that they accidentally created.
My knowledge is at your
Now, if you're still watching these, you know,
While the enemies
it's
of the
hopefully
Emperor
because
still
you're
draw
okay with me
breath.
just rambling on about 40k lore.
Something is not right.
We're gonna roll in here a little bit deeper.
Dispatched by Imperial hands.
Here to serve.
We must proceed
Build some
with
turrets
caution.
here, actually. Colonel Brahm. Colonel Brahm is not very tough, so he tends to die in this mission a lot, but we'll keep him here with some guardsmen.
Eldar or chaos. On alert, I will have answers either way. Press on.
So yeah, Eldar basically created an accidental god. The main antagonist of 40k, although it might be changing soon to Necrons, is Chaos. And Chaos is basically, there's like a kind of like a parallel universe, or kind of like a separate universe, kind of like the Nether. Kind of like the Nether in Minecraft. And it reflects the sort of psychic thoughts, or it sort of reflects the real world. And so and thoughts sort of have power in it. So for example, if everyone is very afraid on a whole planet, then it can create like fear and turmoil in the warp. And oh, here we go. And scoot back here. And also you can travel faster in the warp than you can travel in regular space. And there's evil gods in the warp, one of which is the one that the Eldar accidentally created. And you know, they try and tempt people into doing essentially bad things. So
follow me into battle.
Move in here.
Shall not falter.
So chaos is the cause of why the Imperium is all weird like it is now. It's the cause behind why the Eldar are a dying race. And as we'll see in this campaign, it's the cause of a lot of shenanigans. So basically, the reason we can't get assault marines is because there's these guys up here on this hill, and they don't want us to just jump up there to get them. They want us to build rhinos. So we're gonna do that in a second.
Yes, most beneficent one. Here to serve.
The stupid grav tank can jump because it floats, so
Here to serve.
they're gonna just keep dropping off guys here to fight us, which is kind of annoying. But whatever, I built some turrets. It's not the end of the world.
Yes, Lord.
Put a listening post here too.
I await your
We'll get a machine cult, and then we can get rhinos. So yeah, the Eldar basically, the regular Eldar, or I guess the Craft World Eldar, who are just called Eldar in this, kind of have sort of dedicated their life to more or less not getting too hyped up, because they don't want to add to the power of Slaanesh, which is the god they accidentally created. And they wear little gems on themselves to capture their souls when they die, because otherwise Slaanesh will eat them. So the plot of them always was, and I think it's advanced since the last time I played, was that they thought that once enough Eldar die and they have enough souls in the soul depository, that they can create a new Eldar god and have it kill the Slaanesh, the god of hedonism, or goddess, I guess. No one ever say that Games Workshop never had LGBT inclusivity, because Slaanesh is all genders and every gender. Genders you haven't even conceived of. Genders that would break your sanity if you even thought of them. Slaanesh is all of those. So we'll build a pair of rhinos. We can put our dudes in them. Unfortunately, we can't just send assault marines up here to jump up there and kill everyone. So we're gotta do this instead. So let's get these rhinos here. So rhinos are like the base chassis for a bunch of Space Marine vehicles. And basically you take a rhino and you slap extra armor and a turret on it to make the Space Marine battle tank. There's a version of the rhino called the Razorback that has a turret on it with guns. It's just a very handy little bugger. So we're gonna go in here. We'll put the Force Commander and the Inquisitor in two of these bad boys. Come on, guys, get in the get in the rhino, guys. You can do it. Oh my God, get in the rhino. Okay, well, you know, one thing about this game, that Company of Heroes definitely fixes the freaking pathfinding. I don't think anybody can argue that. So some of these Eldar we might actually fight in melee, because unlike a lot of the things in this game, Space Marines are actually a lot better than almost all of the Eldar in melee in close combat. So it's worth doing that. So we'll just unload. So these are webways. How the Eldar get around, at least partially, is there's this sort of network of tunnels through the warp that the Eldar can just kind of cruise through, and they built gates to them on various worlds that they can hop out of, so they can move all around the galaxy fairly quickly, and it's very difficult to catch them or stop them from doing that, because they know how to use this thing called the webway, and no one else really does, or at least not to the same extent. So we built these rhinos. We don't really need them anymore. Poof poof. And instead, I guess we'll just start. We'll get that to get more power. We'll get that to get more resources.
None can stand before the Inquisition.
And as soon as we cap this, we'll cruise down here and just maybe stab these guys. So Eldar was actually the first army I played in tabletop, and it was sort of surreal looking back at the models. 20 years. Yeah, almost 20 years later. Maybe more like 17 years later, and seeing like all the models are basically exactly the same. There's some new models, but like not many. It's just kind of, I guess new Eldar models were not their priority. So these are Dark Reapers. They're like anti-armor range troops, but we have a lot more of them. If we want to, we'll just fight them in melee.
Beware the alien, the mutant, the heretic.
Okay.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
Fighting them with their little combat knives here. Alright, so we'll gun all these guys down.
Follow my lead.
And then
Here to serve.
more listening posts.
With all due haste.
And then I think we're pretty close to the point where we can start mass producing dreadnoughts.
Scouts ready.
So I'm thinking I just want to mass produce regular dreadnoughts because I don't really think the Eldar have many good anti-tank weapons right now. Unlike Space Marines, Eldar are like weak little shrimpy elf people. They can't just like carry a missile launcher over their shoulder. They have to put them on little grav holders or whatnot. So I think I'll just spam dreadnoughts and have the dreadnoughts kill them all. That's my plan, at least.
The enemy must be nearby.
So maybe I'll go half heavy bolters, half missile launchers.
Apothecaries are standing by to tend to our wounded. Build them at the sacred artifact.
You know, just move forward.
Of the Emperor.
Command me.
I can't get the last cannons until later.
My
Okay,
faith
so
is
we'll just
my
go in here.
None can stand before the Inquisition. Yes.
So warp spiders can teleport. They shoot little strings of like super sharp thread, which is kind of stupid, but I'm sure it seemed really cool. I'm sure it seemed really cool 30 years ago when somebody came up with them. The Eldar have a lot of weird weapons. They're supposed to be like very technologically advanced because they're so old and they haven't forgotten all their technology like the Imperium has. But a lot of their stuff is just kind of stupid. Their guns, they're normal guns. They're called shuriken catapults, and they're these little guns, and they shave off little like ninja stars, little shurikens off a block of metal, and they shoot them at people. And it's just like, come on, guys, you've been alive for, 100,000, whatever years. You couldn't think of a better way to. You couldn't think of a better gun than that to give everybody. Like, I think you could probably. I could probably come up with something better than that. I wouldn't need that long.
Faith is eternal. At last.
Okay.
I will be there soon. Moving out.
So I think we'll just.
Identifying targets. I will be there soon.
We'll just get all the dreadnoughts ready.
Stand ready.
The main problem is the pathing in this unit is so bad. It's very difficult.
An open mind is like a
Units do not
fortress
like
with
to
its
make
gates
space for
unbarred
each
and
other to
unguarded.
move, unfortunately.
At your command.
Do I need another squad of Marines? Maybe.
None can stand before the
Who
Inquisition.
needs... Oh, these guys need special weapons still.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm thinking the dreadnoughts are going to do most of the fighting. And I'll just keep spamming them. Because dreadnoughts rule. Okay.
I am ready to pass judgment.
I am ready to serve again. At
So
last,
most of the upgrades I'm researching are just passive. The big one is the big one is the one that gives the double heavy weapons and also the health and damage upgrades on your Marines. Dreadnoughts do not give half of a damn. Alright, so just get more dreadnoughts.
Yes, Lord.
Keep researching our so these are Howling Banshees who are they're kind of close combat specialists, and they have weapons that can cut through armor, and they can yell really loud and stun people, but none of that my dreadnoughts even remotely care about. As they just grab people, as they just grab these guys, just rip them apart. Yeah. Get out of here. That's one of the best things about this game. That is just sort of is a little bit sad about Company of Heroes. The lack of like the special kills. Because it's so much fun. Okay, why is this guy not up here? Like,
What would you have me do? We
I don't get it.
no fear.
back to war.
Okay, they like stuck on each other?
This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
I don't get it. So that's a Viper, which is like a little jet bike thing. Has a gun on it, but nothing that's good against dreadnoughts. These dreadnoughts are just gonna tear it apart. So cap that real quick. So I could repair dreadnoughts because they're honored veterans of the Space Marines, and you know they've yada yada yada. But units don't get experience in this game, so there's no real point in
Back to war.
really worrying about it.
I have awoken. Command me. To me, my brothers.
Okay, maybe I'll stop building dreadnoughts here. I'll build a new machine base up ahead.
Instrument of his will.
So yeah, I picked Eldar originally because I thought they were kind of cool,
Pass judgment.
even though they're kind of lame, and not many people played them where I was. But I think these days they're probably fairly popular, even though they have really old models,
I am the instrument of his
and
will.
they're kind of stupid. Some parts of their lore are a little silly. I thought I brought a servitor up here. There we go.
Await your instructions.
Can stand before the Inquisition.
The other part of the Eldar to kind of cement their, you know, their whole where the space elves aesthetic is. They're really good at psychic powers, which is basically magic in 40k, and they can sort of see the future.
Yes, Lord.
Or I guess they can see possible futures.
None can stand.
You know,
before the
they can't
Inquisition.
necessarily just see the future in general.
At least we know that the Orks and Eldar are not in league together.
When one enemy attacks another,
So the Orcs and the Eldar are fighting each other,
they are living up
but
to their lack of honor.
And those who lack honor deserve
they're all gonna get crushed by my dreadnoughts. That's all that's really important here. That's all you really need to know. don't think these orcs have any anti-tank weapons, so...
Their judgment is apparent.
No, no, get back here. No, guys, come on. Go fight these orcs.
I am ready for blast.
Okay, whatever. We'll just kill it so that way we can move on with our lives. Oh my god, just... It never ends. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, guys. Okay, we gotta go kill these orcs. So this gives us access to the apothecary, who is sort of like a Space Marine medic, and they're also the one responsible for... There's this thing inside Space Marines that essentially is the main deal. That turns a regular person to Space Marine. You carve open a person and you stick this goopy thing in their chest, and it basically changes their genetics and kind of turns them into a Space Marine. And every Space Marine grows an extra one, so you can typically, if a Space Marine doesn't die, after a while they have an extra one that you can pull out and then put in a new person. But if somebody dies, before their time, one of the purpose of the Space Marine medics is to use this little tool and suck the little goopy thing out of the Space Marine so they can use it on new Space Marines. Okay, so we got our servitor here. I'm just gonna build a new... stronghold here.
I will do as you ask.
Might as well.
Even in death, I still serve.
So we gotta do our little advance on the Eldar. This isn't a particularly difficult mission compared to, not that any mission in this game is particularly difficult, but the last mission with the Squiggoth and 50,000 Leman Russes was, I guess, fairly annoying, you could say.
Position secure.
Ew.
I await your
Position
instructions.
secure.
We'll build a pair of whirlwinds for the final assault. One good thing about whirlwinds and dreadnoughts together is that, the dreadnoughts won't get knocked down by the whirlwinds. So you can just shoot the whirlwinds into things while the dreadnoughts are, ripping people's heads off, which is fairly useful. Okay, we'll build these.
Yes. While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Okay. Okay, where's my last dreadnought? Oh my god.
Purge the unclean. I am ready to serve.
Stupid dreadnoughts.
I will purge the unclean.
Oh wow. There's so much stuff here, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Because none of it is good against tanks. And I have so many dreadnoughts. Okay. So... Okay, the dreadnoughts will tank things. I guess I can use these psychic abilities and stuff. I could use grenades, but I have so many grenades. What else can I smite? Smite these guys. Yeah, the dreadnoughts are just gonna... We're just gonna tear these people apart. Literally. Oh, I should kill these webway gates so they won't just keep sending in more Eldar.
Yes, most beneficent one.
Okay, we'll finish building this stronghold. So yeah, if you kill the webway gates, they can't come through here anymore. The Eldar don't have a base in this mission, so the only way to get them to stop coming is to just kill all the gates, and then they'll kind of stop showing up. As you can see, the dreadnoughts have little flamers underneath their little claws.
Establishing a secondary base near this location.
Okay, so we'll stay there for a second.
Yes, Lord.
So we'll build the machine cult.
Yes, Lord.
We'll build the chapel barracks.
Initializing build protocol.
I guess we don't really need any more listening posts. Got the whirlwinds here. For the final assault.
Scouts ready.
Ugh.
What is
Oh, I do want to build an apothecary. Maybe 2 apothecaries, actually. Because they're just good to have, because they give all of the soldiers around them,
Yes, most beneficent one.
they give all the soldiers around them a regeneration bonus. So they're just cool to have.
Build routine 7-1 initiated.
So we'll just build up here for the final assault. So I can get a couple more dreadnoughts. Even though there's not really a point, I might as well heal these dreadnoughts because I guess I could just build new ones, but we'll have a little respect for our honored ancients. You know, a little tidbit, not too much. If they were that good of warriors, they wouldn't have needed to be in a dreadnought, you know? They'd still be they'd still be in power armor, right? So I mean, one could argue that maybe they're not that mighty after all, because now they're trapped in this metal box. Okay. I'm just building these extra squads so the apothecaries have something to sit in, because otherwise they're gonna have a bad time. They're just gonna get sniped without kind of some sort of unit to run cover for them. Where are my apothecaries? Where'd they go? Oh, they're there. Okay, they're running up.
Faith is eternal.
Okay, they fixed that one. What else? Which other dreadnought needs fixed?
At last,
I'll fix that one.
I have awoken. Faith is eternal. I am ready to serve again.
Okay, assault cannons for everyone.
I am ready to pass judgment.
Okay, we got whirlwinds, we got space marines. We've got more dreadnoughts than we know what to do with. It's all perfect. Now we just need to get these apothecaries and these space marine squads, and we are good to go.
Heresy grows from idleness.
All right. What amount of power? Anyway, so
Faith is eternal.
all right, let's do this.
I exist
I
to
am
serve.
ready to serve again.
So we'll tromp all the dreadnoughts over here.
Even in death, I still serve.
So we'll get the dreadnoughts to attack move.
Find targets.
We'll get the whirlwinds to attack move. We'll get my marines to attack move. Everybody's gonna attack move. So yeah, so many Eldar popping into existence, living lives of, you know, thousands upon thousands of years only to get smushed by my dreadnought because for whatever reason such an advanced race thinks guys named warp spiders who teleport in and shoot really sharp string at you is like, you know, a real good battle tactic. It's like, I don't know about that one, guys. Maybe go back to the drawing board on the warp spiders. Just because you've been doing it for thousands of years doesn't mean it's a good idea. So we're gonna stomp in here. Got the whirlwinds. We've got my regular marines. Okay, look, what are you guys doing? Get in there. Come on. Well, maybe I should have the whirlwinds go here, otherwise they're gonna block everybody. Oh my god. Everybody's stuck. Traffic jam. No, traffic jam. Oh. Come on, traffic jam, traffic jam. Oh my god. Come on, guys, you can do it. Come on, guys, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it, whirlwinds. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think everybody has made it down here. Now we can finish off these dirty Xeno scum who think they're so smart with their robes and their little form-fitting uniform and their helmets with red hair on them. Well, if you're so great, how come my dreadnoughts are just smushing you mercilessly? I wonder how many kills this dreadnought has gotten. These dreadnoughts have gotten. I haven't lost any of them. One of them is a little bit injured, but it was injured when we started, so. Okay, that was a real bad shot, Whirlwind. We'll just clean these guys up, and then we just need my Force Commander and my Librarian to go investigate this mysterious red circle on the minimap. You know, it's funny because the multiplayer maps are a lot more open. It's like they made these campaign maps so narrow without like so many just little corridors without considering how bad the pathing is in this game. Oh god, I sent everybody. Okay, close enough.
So the good Inquisitor senses no chaos here. How fortunate for the Imperium that such keen-eyed eagles stand vigil over her gates.
What dark crafts have these Eldar invoked?
None. At least not here. The servants of Chaos sacrificed this poor guardsman themselves.
To what end, Isidore?
I know not. I believe the altar is a marker, a waypoint, in a map that leads elsewhere. Someone defaced many portions of text. Regardless of what Chaos seeks here, the altar requires a sacrifice of blood, or more likely, a life.
Brother Isidore, you have an hour to study the altar. Document everything as is our tradition. Then burn it, lest its taint infect us all.
But Gabriel, there is much to learn from here. We should not be too eager to...
Learn what? Chaos does not teach. It misleads and it betrays. There is nothing to learn here, save for our next course. These transports have been damaged somehow. Make the repairs, and be quick.
Well, Brother Isidore, what betrayal have you wrought? Disabling your own vehicles? Harboring artifacts despite your good captain's instructions?
Gabriel does not understand. He does not appreciate the significance of this.
No, but I do.
Quiet, heretic. Once I find what you seek, I will use it against you for the glory of the Emperor and my brothers.
You wish to deal me a harsh blow, to prove your strength and worth. Well, then come to me. I wait at Mount Korath.
Have no fear, sorcerer. I will be there.
No, Isidore, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Well, that was mission 5. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. As we go through this campaign, I think we'll learn why it's a bad idea to try and learn about chaos, to use it against chaos and what chaos is. But Isidore's being a very naughty librarian, reading some books he shouldn't. Well, anyway, have a nice day.